year 3. But the reason that I think Cam doesn't get enough credit is because all quarterbacks get evaluated by the same scale: touchdown interception ratio, passer rating, passing yards. And Cam adds something to his team that none of those other guys do at this level, and nobody else has done in NFL history at this level, which is the consistent, every single game, you know you're going to have to deal with 6 to 12 carries from the quarterback, at least 4 to 8 designed runs by the quarterback, and they're punishing runs. They're runs that actually can wear down the defense. And so I don't think there are 5 quarterbacks in football that could be doing what Cam's doing for this Panthers team, and I don't think he gets credit on that scale.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, in the history of this great game, 99 years, there's not 10 quarterbacks that have more talent than Cam Newton. So when we talk about giving a guy credit, first you got to realize, well, what are you starting with? All right, you're starting with one of the most talented guys from a structure, physical skill standpoint that we've ever seen in NFL history. So trying to give a guy, it's like Aaron Rodgers. How much credit should we give him? If he's completing 68% of his passes, oh, wow, he's the greatest thrower of the football. So he's not going to get enough credit. When you have a standard that's very high, Tom Brady has done this because how well he played. Peyton Manning had that same standard. So I don't believe that Cam is being given as if we don't talk about him enough. I evaluated him based on what kind of talent he has, how he's evolved, and him being inconsistent for his first 7 years of his career. That has led me to being right now to, oh, I'm glad they added North Turner. Oh, I'm glad that he's improving. But I don't think this is a season where Cam should be getting more credit. One person who should be getting more credit is Ron Rivera, because the atmosphere that he creates there, losing defensive coordinator, losing players, losing coaches, going out and hiring Norv Turner, saying this is the right guy for Cam Newton. I believe that those things are very, very important as far as Cam's development. He has gotten better as a quarterback, orchestrating what quarterbacks should do. But we're 8 games through, and we got a number of guys playing at a level that they should be. We should be talking about them and what they're doing more so than Cam.
Nick, what is Cam doing differently this year that he wasn't doing last year?
Oh, he's just eliminating those awful games. And we've talked about this a lot. Chris had that
And not just games, the play, so he comes out and doesn't continue
those individual plays, yes.
Absolutely. That's probably a better way to put it. But Chris had that chart he liked so much last year that looked like a bad stock, where it was up, down, up, down, up, down. And it was Cam's week-to-week passer rating. This year, that hasn't been the case. He's had one game all year where he had a really awful passer rating. They actually won that game. But I do think, like, we can look at through 8 games this year and through 8 games of an MVP season, that this year's on the right. He's better across the board. Now, the team's not 8-0, and it should be noted in that MVP season, he was extraordinary in the second half of the year statistically, which brought up his numbers for the year as a whole. But it is about, I think the 2 points Chris made that I totally agree with. One is Cam is graded on a curve because he is so physically gifted. He is graded on, it's almost hesitate to bring the guy up, but the way Dwight Howard was graded, even in his prime. Even in his prime, Dwight was a little underrated because it felt like, well, he should be doing this. In fact, maybe he should be doing more. And the other thing that's hurting Cam this year is Pat Mahomes on pace for 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Drew Brees on pace to complete 80% of his passes.
Yes.
And so, but that doesn't mean we should get lost in what we said a few weeks ago, which is if Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers had led a 17-point fourth-quarter comeback against the Eagles, that would have led the show. Instead, we talked about it briefly the next Monday. Like, there is some of this that gets overlooked. Won't get overlooked tonight because the only game on is up against Big Ben.
Yeah, won't get overlooked by Nick Wright. You try to pass over one of his clients. His law firm, Wright. Represents guys that look a lot like Cam Newton.
This guy. Jenna, you can go ahead.
Back to the NBA now. The Lakers hosting Minnesota lost to them just about 9 days ago. Avenged it last night. LeBron nearly had a triple-double, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart all had at least 20 as well. Lakers put it all together. They beat Minnesota 114-110. Don't look now, but this team has now won 3 of the last 4. Did we all overreact to the slow start? Here's LeBron on the key to the win.
We defended the whole fourth quarter. They made some shots. I mean, if we get any closer on some of those threes, we foul them. And We did one time. We gave up a 4-point play to Jimmy, but we defended. This is the most we've defended in 48 minutes, close to 48 minutes all year, and we did it versus a very good team.
See, you're one of many very happy that the game started at 10:30 last night, so you were able to watch every minute. You're wide awake this morning. What do you think was the key last night to the Lakers win?
The first half. I'm excellent on that. The rest of the second half and everything, I'm relying on Nick, because Nick's a fool, stayed up. Hey, Lakers, why West Coast? Everyone else is starting at 10 o'clock, which is 7 o'clock. Why are you starting at 7:30? Like, what's the 30 minutes for?
Because L.A. traffic, man. And
are you certain of this?
Yeah. And because they're the Lakers. Those two things. They want.
I think it's more the Lakers and they're blaming it on the traffic and everything. But it's killing me for that second half, Jen. I was done. But what I do like is LeBron took the initiative that I'm going to be more aggressive from the beginning. From the tap on the first shot, Timberwolves come down, they shoot it, they miss it, rebound comes. They don't look to Lonzo. They get the ball right to LeBron. LeBron comes down and sets up the offense. So he's very aggressive in those first 8 minutes of the game. I thought that was very important. That lets you know that the team is engaged as far as changing these slow starts that they get off to. And also, I got to go to 2 bench players. A lot of news around Tyson Chandler's signing with the team. He was tremendous. He makes a lot of intangible plays, and I believe LeBron, at this stage of his career, like to have a couple grown men, older guys on who he can relate to. I believe Tyson Chandler is a big pickup, and man, Josh Hart is a beast. 21 points off the bench, especially that at the end of that first quarter, because the Timberwolves were on fire. He was able to give them that boost offensively, but I believe he's going to be huge off the bench. So if they're going to get better, that bench and those role players have to play a significant role, and they did last night.
I understand a lot of people watching right now this show probably didn't watch the whole game last night, so they don't know what LeBron's talking about with the great defense. You see, you allowed 110 points. Like, listen, they allowed 67 in the first half, 43 in the second half. They allowed the Timberwolves to make 6 two-point baskets the entire second half. Think about that. 6 two-point field goals the entirety of the second half for Minnesota. It cannot be overstated what an unlikely win this was for the Lakers as far as what the Timberwolves were doing from 3. It wasn't just Derrick Rose having his career best night from 3-point range. The Timberwolves as a team were 20 of 40 from 3. 20 made threes on 50% shooting from 3.
If I tell you before the game, Derrick Rose going to make 7, Jimmy Butler going to make 5. There's no other stat you're going to, unless someone else on the team gets hurt, a significant injury, there's no other stat that's going to lead for a victory for the Lakers.
And listen, if a team makes 23s and shoots that high of a percentage, going into last night's game in NBA history, they were 34-1. 34-1. For the Lakers to win this game was remarkable in that regard. When teams get that hot from 3, you flatly lose. So why did they win this game? Josh Hart was key. Brandon Ingram, I thought, played his best game of the season.
Yeah.
Kuz made at the end of the first and second quarter. Final play of the quarter. LeBron's bringing the ball up. Looks like he's going to take that left wing 3 he likes so much.
Yep.
Finds Kuz trailing top of the key 3 to end the first quarter. Exact same play in the second quarter. And then to add some to it, in the third quarter, LeBron acted like he was going to do that, hit it to Rondo. Rondo hit Josh Hart. The Lakers got 3-pointers to end the first, second, and third quarter. And then at the end of the game, I said last week, you got to figure out something for JaVale McGee because he cannot be playing at the end of these games. Derrick Rose caught fire, and all of a sudden it's a 1-point game with a minute 3 left. And what happened? The Lakers got 3 consecutive offensive rebounds thanks to Tyson Chandler taps. He taps it out past midcourt, extra possession. Taps it off of Karl-Anthony Towns, extra possession. Taps it out again, extra possession. So even though the Lakers went 0 for 3 with a chance to turn a 1-point lead into a 3 or 4-point lead, they end up getting the ball with 12 seconds left. You've got to foul him because Tyson Chandler's energy and Tyson Chandler's aggressiveness, that saved the game, or else it would have been a Derrick Rose game again.
Yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns gets off to a great start in that first quarter. Tyson Chandler, him and JaVale McGee hold him to 4 points the rest of the game. That and those tap-outs, a huge storyline to the Lakers winning.
I know we kind of laughed about it, but now that they learned how to finish out a game, now that they learned how to play defense, how do you know when this team has turned the corner?
I don't think it'll be like a car. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'll be a slow curve, and there'll be almost like stops and fits.
Well, when will you say, I like the way they played last night? This is them. This is the team I think that.
Oh, well, once I know what the actual team is, because I don't think Tyson Chandler they got for free. There's a buyout. Yes. They add him. They got to figure out the point guard spot now. Like, we know LeBron will ratchet it into full gear. LeBron played 104 out of 104 games last year, played 42 minutes a game in the postseason, was peaking at the end of the year. He knows how to control his body to where he's peaking at the end of the season. That's why he seems to kind of be in second gear right now. But for the Lakers to win last night when Rose goes for 31 and Lonzo and Rondo go 2 for 13 combined with 5 points, they need one of them to assert themselves, and they need to figure out what the future is for the other one. So I'm going to, 30, 40 games is the answer to that. But over the next dozen games, a lot of bad teams they're getting ready to play. They could go on a nice little stretch.
Yeah, I think this run is going to help out, especially those young players. But this roster, Nick and I don't believe this roster set, so we believe that we'll continue we still need more time. Because we believe they're going to make a couple of changes.
CeCe's favorite guy, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, also not really helping out.
No, KFC. He needs to get it together.
It's okay.
When he starts playing good, I'll get his name right.
No, you won't.
It'll be like Peter Burger.
Coming up, the gap between, he likes fried food. The gap between Bama and the rest of